knees. Then the next part is hip line. Once I can get past the hip line, that means I've passed the legs. If I can keep the hips flat along the mats, then I can start working to try and get the shoulders flat. And once I get the shoulders and hip flat, that means I'm starting to get some attacks going. Okay? Good question. And that's what we're talking about. So when we're passing guard, our ultimate goal is to try and get past the hip line so we can hopefully try and apply pressure to the torso so they're now flat. So we're working feet, knees, hips, shoulders. Once we've got the hips and shoulders locked down, now we're working our submission game. Until we can really get there, then he's retaining guard, or I'm still continuing to pass guard, if that makes sense. So if I get to this position, I haven't passed guard yet. I'm not in closed guard, but he's still in an open variation. I'm still passing, because in the rules of passing and playing guard, passing means I'm limiting him to 2 points of contact. If he's playing guard, he needs 3 points of contact. Now he's playing guard. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now I'll pass that here. No, I'll pass the hip line. He's now on the knee bar. 2 points. Thank you very much. Cool. Oh, plus the guard pass. 5 points for me. I'm up for 5 points already. Yeah! All right. Cool. Any other questions? Good question. Because that's important to understand. Yeah? Because it'll help you work methodically to pass the guard. If you get past the feet, the next thing I have to work on are the knees. And then when I'm past the knees, now I've got to try and lock that hip down. And then we want to work on that so we can start establishing our submission game. So really good question. What do you think? All right, grab your mouth guard, have a quick drink. 1, 2, 3. Okay, because if we jump straight over and we clear the arm, as we pull and we fall on the back, then we enter triangle. Okay? Whose is that?
That's Matt.
It's yours.
No, it's Cantina.
That's right. Steve's
So,
what is that?
Circus.
Circus.
that sounds like you like Cantina.
That's work. No one over top?
Yeah.
Alright, so again, we're here, you're being defensive, whatever the case may be, I'm not really worried about. Right, once we're here, my partner's blocking this arm, so we want to come over and get this arm. So we're going to hands, swap over, 1, 2, swap the hands, so that way we can transition. Back step, and slide the knee. So now we're in Z mount. Claim the arm, again, step over, control the descent, and then we can break. Now, I've noticed a couple of us, as we're backstepping, we're sort of backstepping like this, on top of the arm, and then we can't get it because we're actually on top of it. What you need to do is just make sure you clear it. You just got to move yourself, not pull the arm, move you. So instead of you trying to pull the arm out from underneath your hip, like if, I'm 98, 99 kilos. For me to pull your arm out from underneath my fat butt is harder than me to move off your arm. Because all I have to do is this. And then the arm's free. And now I can claim it and then we get the arm up. Does that make sense? So if you're coming up short, you go, oh, the arm. It's because you're sitting on it. So when you back step, you'll have to maybe adjust your step a little bit further down the chain. So I'm here, we're back stepping, and maybe I'm on top. There it is, just a small adjustment. If I realise I want it, come back. A little bit longer, then come back in. And now claim, and then you're good to go. Does that help everyone? Was anyone coming up short on that?
There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, you just adjust.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? If you do an arm bar from closed guard and you get the grips wrong, what do? You adjust, you re-grip and set it up again. You don't go, oh well, I just can't do it. No, you've got to fight for it. So re-grip, set it up, re-enter. You might have to do this 10,000 times to get comfortable with it. And unfortunately, me doing it with you is going to change from when I do it with Musafa. Yeah? Different body types, how I move. You might swap your arms. I might have to throw back and jump back up and go back the other side. What I mean by that is, you're defending this side. Swap your arms over. Oh. Yeah? Does that make sense? So I might have to swap over and come back. And that's okay. We just do it again. It's a good drill anyway. So do it like that. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Generation. Yeah. Face over, please. Okay. So last night we started Kneeride. So tonight we're just going to we'll do a basic drill. Alright, so feet on the hip. Hips, he pushes against me, we turn the corner, pass it across. Swap the hands, double step. Landing knee rock. My foot position when I'm stepping around. So again, feet on hips, I'm turning. As he pushes, we want to just turn a hip. I'm going to pick this hand here, 1, pass it off. I want a rudder step, so we're going to go 1, 2. So I want to clear the hip line. So this foot has to clear the hip line when we step. So I don't want to go here and then try, because he'll bring the leg in and start blocking. So I need that foot all the way clear past the hip line, then I can drop the knee down to the hips and smash that hip control. And now we're starting to control from this position. Okay? So we'll practice that. Yeah, we'll do 10 on each side and then we'll move on. But while we're here, we may as well do the technique of the night. So from this position, yeah, he's already defending. All right, a couple of things we can do from here. First one is we're going to do Kimura. We're going to kill, wrist control. I'm going to pull on the side and dive over. Bring it back down. Walk over, 1, 2, 3, and apply. Okay? Good. 1, wrist control. I'm going to dive down and I'm going to swim. As I dive, I'm swimming down underneath the arm. Push it down and then collect it. Wrist control, thumb less grips. From here, I'm going to walk up onto the shoulder girdle, around about there, because Maddie's of my generation, so it'll be nice and gentle. Pull the foot up, so my hip is on the face, so he's got a good pressure, so we can alleviate it when I want to apply. Paint the floor, and there we are. That's enough. Okay?
Yeah, it's enough of these.
Yes, I understand. Okay. Wrist control, swim, sprawl. We're doing that ideally almost in one motion. As soon as you get a wrist control, over and kill.
Do you run into any issues getting your hand under the upper arm?
Just, yeah, a lot of the time, and this is where we're going to do the next drill. Here, if it's really flat, there, well, that might be an issue, but has he got much strength against that on that defense? Not really. Yeah, so he's not really going to push my knee off too much. All right. So when he starts pressing properly, he's got, yeah. So there's a little frame that, there you go. That's the cavity we want, and then that's going to, you know, bring over to the armbar, which will be next. Okay. So if I don't feel I can get under that way, then we'll go for the armbar. Okay? Just because we're going to go far arm attacks tonight. Any questions on that? Good. 1, 2, 3. Mike's going to want to get on his side and do that. Do you see what happened with the elbow then? Slightly. Do you see that? Alright, so when he comes on his side, and he pushes, then we catch. So it's easier as they start to defend to catch it. Yeah? But then it's a timing issue, isn't it? Okay? Now it's a timing thing. Now, if we're here and he starts to defend and he's driving and I'll miss it, then we go to north-south and we finish the match. Okay? Everyone happy with that? So, you know the basic technique when they're here. So now when we play with it, we'll play with the position. Partner will start to escape and then we've got to try and catch it. Now it's like, you know, cat and mouse and that sort of stuff. Yeah? So it's a nice little game. Next one we're going to have a look at will be the armbar. So when they don't, all right, so we're here, they're just blocking. All right, so creating the pressure, so hand behind the knee, behind the head, driving up, creating the pressure. Hand now is going to go underneath here and the shoulder cup. And I'm going to pull him on his side. When I pull him on his side, I'm going to step to the small of the back and up the leg. Pull, hamstring curl, nice and tight, and finish the armbar. Okay? Just be aware of when you fall down on this armbar, because your partner's actually up on their side and the arm goes back like that, it's really tight. Especially guys that have, you know, done some weightlifting and stuff like that, shoulders, us older guys. As soon as you start doing that, you know, everything starts to become hyperextended and really super tight. Okay, so don't slam your back on the mat. You want to be nice and controlled. This is to protect your partner. So again, we're here. Mike defends. Underhook. Pull. Step. I pull myself in the mic. Hamstring curl here. And now, boom. Okay, that's all we need. Nice and slow. And when we're doing arm bars, once you get 1 or 2 arm bars, you don't need to keep applying it, because the hip bridge into an extended arm is not where the skill is. It's the setup, the entry. The actual finish is about that much. You don't need to practice that so much. Once you get the feel for it, where the wrist is, where the hip is, in line with the elbow, once you're happy with that, just get the entry, practice the entry. Okay? Otherwise, your partner's arm's going to start looking like this, yeah, and then up. You know, so we don't want to have, you know, scar tissue around the elbow so much that, you know, they'll walk around like this forever. Happy? Are there any questions? 1, 2, 3.